Okay, welcome back to one more English lesson. And today, as we always do, we're gonna go on our science class. Okay, so welcome to this wonderful class, and let's move on today. Okay, if you were watching our lessons, you remember that last week we were talking about vapor. I think one way that we can say that maybe is vaporization, it's the changing of the states, right? Something is liquid and it becomes like hard, solid. Okay, so we were studying that kind of topic, and today we're gonna move on that, and then, of course, just follow me. Okay, as I always do now, I'm gonna share my screen with you, and in some specific words, I'm gonna give Portuguese explanation, okay, but mainly of the study, okay, most of the things that we're gonna see today, they're gonna be all in in English, not in Portuguese, right? So just follow me and let it go. As you can see now, I just shared the screen with you, okay, and then let's go on. Let me get here my highlighter, okay, so let's go. I'm gonna change the color just to be not the same as the rest of the things. And here we have the title. The title is Eva, Eva, sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna play it here for you so you can feel that. So listen with me. Evaporation. Evaporation. Okay, so that's the pronunciation. Evaporation and the water cycle. Again, water cycle. All right, evaporation and the water cycle. So going down here below, and we have here the first subheading, right? Which is temperature affects evaporation. Again, temperature affects evaporation. Okay, so it means that depending on the temperature, or if it's very cold, if it's very hot, it's gonna affect, okay, it's gonna have some, how can I say that? Let me think about a word for that. Okay, I think a good word is interference. Interference, okay, in Portuguese means interferência. So in English, interference. Okay, so it's when because of something, some other thing change. It's like when you affect somehow, right? So I think up to here, not big deal, right? So going down, and then we have this first part here. The rate, speed, okay? So here rate means speed of evaporation depends on temperature. So that is the first information that we have here. Again, the rate, ou seja, a velocidade da evaporação depende da temperatura. Primeiro ponto nós aprendemos. So number one, evaporation is slow when it's cold. So if we have a cold weather, like if we have a cold temperature, so it means that the evaporation of the liquid of something, right, it's gonna be slow. Yeah, slow, do you know is slow? Devagar, right? And then number two, on the other hand, evaporation is fast when it's hot. So again, if the temperature is high, hot, so we can see that the speed, yeah, it's gonna be faster, okay? It's gonna be higher, right? So we have this first difference. So again, just to make sure we got it, quando a temperatura está frio, a evaporação é devagar. Quando está quente, ela é rápida, right? Very good. So going down, I'm gonna go up a little bit here so you guys can read, right, the information. So we have these two pictures here, okay? And then I'm gonna read both this and this. So analyze this picture here. What do we have here? We have this cloud. Yeah, like it's a really gray cloud. And it looks like it's gonna rain. I think so, right? And then we have a house, and then we have some clothes, yeah, on the hanging, right? On the clothes hanging. And then we have this man here, yeah, almost naked, right? Because, of course, right? His clothes, because the weather is like colder, so his clothes, it's not drying. It's not drying faster, okay? It's not drying as it would be, at the speed that it would be if the weather were sunny, like if it was hot, okay? So what do we get here is that by this first draw, yeah, by this analyze that thing here. But this first one here is like, if the temperature is a little bit cold, it takes more time for the wet cloth dry. Okay, so this is the point here. I think that's really easy, right? To make sure you get it. So leva mais tempo para secar se, né, o clima, né, a temperatura está fria, então as roupas vão demorar mais tempo, elas vão levar mais tempo aí para poder secar, né? Porque a evaporação, de evaporation, né, da água não vai acontecer de forma tão rápida, okay? Porque a temperatura está baixa. Alright? Next one. Okay, so in this next picture here, in the second picture, again, we have the same situation, but now our man, he has his clothes, right? Okay, and even he has he has sunglasses. Amazing, right? So again, the sun, it's really strong outside, so for sure the temperature is hot, and because of that, right, the clothes, they were drying faster, much faster. Okay, so that is the thing. So I'm gonna read these two boxes below. Just follow me, okay, and pay attention, right? Let's begin with this one here. Washing dries slowly on a cold day because water evaporates from the clothes slowly. It's the same as I told you before. And on the hot side, right, this one here, and washing dries quickly, faster on a hot day because water evaporates quickly. I mean, of course, sunnier, not sunnier, but higher is the temperature, faster your clothes will dry. That is the point here, right? So I think that's all right. No big deal here. I'm gonna read this purple part to you. So evaporation is faster when the temperature is higher. Very good sentence, right? So don't forget, evaporation is faster. Ela é mais rápido, ok? Lembra-se que faster, quando tem esse ER no finalzinho aqui, ele dá a ideia de que mais do que, ok? Então, eu vou colocar aqui para vocês. Então, a evaporation, ela é, colocando isso, ela é mais rápida do que. Então, esse faster, só essa parte amarela, você traduz desse jeito, é mais rápida do que, né? Evaporation is faster when, ok? Vamos lá, quando... Opa, vamos lá, uma pequena correção aqui. Aqui, como tem when, então ela é mais rápida, a gente vai colocar só, ela é mais rápida quando, ok? Muito bem. Então, a gente vai colocar desse jeito, quando, porque tem when e não then, né? Por causa dessa palavra, tá bom? Então, when, então ela é mais rápida quando a temperatura is higher, ok? Teacher, eu sei o que é higher, sei. Que a temperatura está, mesma coisa, higher, tem o ER de comparativo aqui, quando ela está, a gente vai colocar num português que faz sentido, né? Está mais alta. Temperatura alta quer dizer que ela está mais quente, ok? So, esse é o point. No problem. Evaporation is faster when the temperature is higher. Simple like that. So, moving on. Going down here, right? We have this second part. So, I'm gonna read this beginning. And then, of course, just follow me. Evaporation and condensation of water on Earth. Again, we have two systems here right now, right? Evaporation and condensation of water on Earth. So let's see what is that. Number one, and as you can see this right here, right? So the water here on planet Earth is constantly recycling. Strange but true. Okay, so this is a little bit strange, but the water is constantly, it is always recycling. Do you know the meaning of the word recycling? Recycling comes from recycle, okay? So when we say that something is recycling, which means that está se reciclando. That's why in the end of the sentence he says, strange but true. Um pouquinho estranho, pensa, como é que a água está se reciclando? Mas é verdade, right? So let's get back. And then number two, when the temperature gets really low, baixo, okay, when it gets really low, raindrops can fall as snow or hail instead of rain. Okay, so again, when the temperature gets really low, raindrops can fall as snow or hail instead of rain. So do you understand that? I think snow it's okay. Raindrops can fall. As gotas d'água podem cair como, né? Esse aqui é de como, comparando, ok? Como snow, neve, que a gente já conhece, or hail. Hail é uma palavra nova, right? So let's check that. Okay, so I'm gonna write down here for you what is hail. Okay, so when we have hail, this word, it is like balls of ice. So teacher, what is that? What is ball of ice? Isso em português é granizo, ok? Então, preste bastante atenção. Ok, então, deixa eu só terminar de escrever aqui. Granizo. Alright, so this is hail. No problem? I think so, right? Instead of rain. Lembra que instead é ao invés de, né? Então, quando a temperatura realmente cai muito, né? Ela vai bem para baixo, ou seja, fica muito frio, ok? As gotas d'água elas podem cair como neve ou como granizo, essas bolas de gelo, ao invés de chuva normal, ao invés da chuva, de rain, okay? So, let's get back here, okay? We have this picture, okay? Let's get a little bit closer, right? I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger for you guys, okay? So, I think you can see that in a better way. Very good. So, follow me. Clouds are condensed water vapor, tiny droplets of water hanging around in the air. Again, clouds are condensed water vapor, tiny droplets of water hanging around in the air. So, we have this big picture here. This is a landscape, right? So we have a ground here. We have some mountains, right? Bigger here. We have the clouds up here. We have the sun here. And we have some trees as well here. So we have some information on the picture, and let's see if we understand that. Okay, so let's go. Let's begin here down below in this part. Heat from the sun makes the water from the sea, lakes, and rivers evaporate into water vapor. So that is the first information, and a very important information, okay? Again, the heat. What is heat, teacher? Calor, yeah? From the sun makes the water from the sea, lakes, and rivers evaporar into water vapor, okay? Ou seja, elas evaporam e se transformam nessa vapor de água. And then we can see here, right? Evaporation, going up and becoming clouds, right? Very good. So, and it continues to go up, okay? And then we can see here the rain, right? And also we have evaporation from here, this stream, right? This is a name that we can give here, okay? There is a stream here, tipo esse córrego, né? Esse stream in English, okay? And then in the other side here, we have a different information, so read with me. As the water vapor rises, it cools and condenses to form clouds, then falls as rain. Again, as the water vapor rises, conforme o vapor da água vai subindo, it cools, ele fica frio, right? And condenses, ele se condensa para formar nuvens. Then falls as rain, e aí cai como chuva. So this is the system, basically. This is how it works, right? So we can see here the rain goes down, falls onto the mountain, and then it goes down here onto the river, and then because of the sun, because of the heat of the sun, it evaporates again and go up. It works like a circle, right? It works like going up and down, going up and down, like it goes up, down, up, down. So it works as a cycle, that never ends. So that is the point here. All right, so I hope you are understanding that, and let's get back. And then going down here below, we have this, there is a text here, right? And with some informations here, I'm gonna put myself a little bit up so you guys can see that. Okay, so I'm gonna read it for you, and then just follow me. Water cycle sounds like a cross-channel bike. Again, a cross-channel bike. You really do need to know the words evaporation and condensation. Even if you don't use them every time you hang your clothes out to dry. Don't forget that water doesn't disappear when it evaporates, but turns into a gas. And look at the diagram of the water cycle at the bottom of the page really carefully and try to follow the water on its way around the picture. Okay, so what are we talking about here? We are talking about this diagram here, this picture, right? So try to follow, look at the picture, and then see the rain goes down. As I was explaining, it goes into the river, and then it evaporates and goes up again and becomes a cloud, and then just try to really get this cycle. Okay, really analyze this picture that you guys can see here on my side, in this side here, right? Okay, so focus on, right, because it's a very important. And this sentence here, all right, that you can see that I'm circling what I've just read, please, one homework for you, yeah, translate it, all right, translate it to Portuguese, right? So this is what you have to do, translate it to Portuguese. This is a homework, no problem. So now let's get back to me a little bit, okay, and then we're gonna move on to the next part, which is our questions, okay? Yeah, once again we have reached, yeah, the end of the of the chapter, right? So let's check it out then now. All right, and here we are back again. Let's read, okay, the summary question as we always do. Follow me, and of course I'm gonna give you some hints, I'm gonna make some translations, but I mean the main goal here, we have to answer all the questions. So let's see. Summary questions for section 6. Phew, yeah, as they say. Wow, finally we got here. That section had a lot of info on states of matter. Make sure you know what the 3 states of matter are and how materials change states. Then, here are some lovely questions for you to try. You needn't do them all at once. You can do that, little by little. But make sure you don't leave any out. The name of the game is to make sure that you can do them all, and they will know that you understand it all. Okay, so this is the point. So, what is being said here is that don't worry. Okay, don't worry really. When you try to answer these kind of questions, you don't have to answer all of them like at one time, like in 1 minute. Don't worry, you don't have to do that. But we have to read it carefully, go back on the previous pages if necessary, just to make sure that you know the answer. Read, oh, okay, teacher, I got it. The answer for question number 1, it's here. So circle that and then bring here and answer the question, okay? If you have to circle, circle. If you have to write, write. So do what you have to do, okay? But the point is, don't leave any out. Teacher, what is that? Don't leave any out. It means answer all of them. Don't leave any question without answer. This is what I'm gonna ask you to do. All right, so knowing that, let's move on. So let's get back to the paper. As you can see, so we have this little mouse here, right? This is a big mouse actually, but yeah, and he has a cheese on his hand, right? So anyway, so let's focus on the question. Okay, so number 1, name the 3 states of matter. Yeah, of matter. Yeah, as we say in American English. So do you remember the 3 states? Do you remember that? I hope so. I hope you remember that, right? So what is that, teacher? Remember that we were talking about like when something becomes liquid and why. So we have 3 names. We have 3 specific names for each state of this matter. So answer that for me. That's number 1. Number 2, which of the following materials are solid? So we have some examples: cheese, water, oxygen, a brick. So again, the question, which of the following materials are solids? So which of them we can say, oh, this is a solid product? So answer that for me. Number 3, can you pour a solid? So to answer this question, number 3, the first thing that you have to know is, teacher, what is the meaning of pour? What is that? Okay, so get back to me. Okay, I think you can see me now, right? So pour, P-O-U-R. I'm going to give you an example to you. So the action, yeah, when you pour something means normally you move a specific material from one place to a different one. I'm going to give an example to you, okay? I have here in my hand a mug, a big one actually, right? As you can see, the Superman one. And on the other hand, I have a different cup. So I'm going to pour some liquid from here inside this place. Check it out. Okay, and I left some fell out, but anyway, so this action that I was doing, this is pour. I was pouring down. Okay, so this is pour. So can we do that with a liquid? What do you think about? Okay, got back to the page here. So now that you understand what is pour, right? I think you know if we can do that with a solid or not. So answer that. Number 4. You move a material from one container to another. It changes shape but does not change in volume. What state of matter is the material in? This is a very, very good question, okay? This one I'm gonna translate to you just for a matter of helping, okay? Especially because it's a really interesting question. So again, check it out, number 4. You move material from one container to another. Você move algum tipo de material de container, né, de algum local, de alguma coisa que você possa deixar dentro para outro. Muito bem. It changes shape, ou seja, ele muda a forma dele, ele muda a forma, esse material. Mas, ele não muda em volume, ou seja, o formato do material ele vai alterar, só que o volume, a quantidade dele não altera. So, what state of matter is the material in? Que estado, né? Que estado de matéria que está esse material? Ele está em estado líquido, gasoso, sólido? What do you think? So tell me that. Okay, of course, the answer must be in English, right? Number 5. Can the volume of a gas change? Again, can the volume of a gas change? What do you think about that? So if you know, answer that for me. And of course, tell me why. Okay, if yes, why does it change? If no, why it doesn't change. Okay, very good. Number 8. True or false? A gas evaporates into a liquid when it is cooled. Explain your answer. Again, a gas evaporates into a liquid when it is cooled. So explain your answer. Okay, so I know that it happens in this process, but why? Why does it happen? What is the explanation for that? What is the scientific explanation for it? Okay, teacher, I don't know the answer. The answer is in your English book, right? If you go some pages before, you're gonna see that the answer is there. All right, so very good. Getting back. Next one. Number 9. So follow me here. What happens to a liquid when you freeze it? Again, what happens to a liquid when you freeze it? So of course, for you to answer that, you have to know both names. Yeah, what is freeze and what is liquid. Again, so what happens? It becomes something. Okay, and then I want you to explain. So you can say, teacher, so a liquid when it is freeze, yeah, it's freezed, it's frozen, it what? Okay, what happens? Explain that to me. Okay, o que acontece quando líquido, quando ele é congelado? Explica para mim em inglês. Number 10. What happens to butter in a hot pan? So what is the process? Yeah, that happens to a butter when in a hot pan. Teacher, I forgot it. What is a hot pan? Uma panela quente, right? So that's the point. Next one. What instrument would you use to measure temperature? What is the name of the instrument that we use when we want to know the degrees, yeah? Like when we want to know the temperature. Okay, so what is the name of that? Okay, for example, imagine in Portuguese, qual a temperatura que está aí fora? How is the weather? Is it very hot? Is it very cold? So what is the name of the instrument that we use to check, to measure that? Okay, remember that measure, measure, right? So next one, and number 12. At what temperature does letter A, water boil, and water freeze? Again, I want to know the temperature. Is it 100 degrees Celsius? Is it 80 degrees Celsius? Okay, again, the answers are on the previous pages. Okay, so just go back there and check it out. 13, let's go to the next one. 13, silver melts at 962 degrees Celsius. So there is a question here on this question 13. Will silver be solid or liquid at 500 degrees Celsius? Again, silver melts. Do you know the word melt? Melts means derreter, okay? At 962 degrees. So will silver be solid or liquid at 500 degrees Celsius? So by knowing this information, so how is going to be the state of silver at this temperature? Okay, next one, 14. Why do wet clothes dry faster on a hot day? So why it happens? Again, this is the topic that I was reading today on the lesson. Okay, so what happens? Why it dry faster? Explain that for me. Again, every explanation should be in English, of course, right? And on 15, the water on planet Earth recycles all the time. Explain this statement. Again, explain this statement means explique essa afirmação. So, of course, the water on planet Earth recycles all the time. So, I'm gonna give you a simple explanation about that. I mean, why the water recycles, okay? But let's see, yeah? I mean, I want you to read my explanation. I mean, read and listen to and watch my explanation, and then you answer this question 15, okay? And we have even a joke here down below, right? We have this guy like, hey, recycle your water here. Of course, it doesn't work like that, right? But let's check it out. Okay, so I'm gonna share a picture with you right now, okay, just to give you some idea of what is this water recycling and what is the name that we give for that, and I mean how it works perfectly. Anyway, as I gonna give you the explanation, you're gonna see that, I mean, you already know how it works. Okay, so just focus on here I have some, yeah, picture. You can see that up my head, like in this side here, right? Okay, so this picture is very similar to the one that we have in the book, okay, on the book. So there is here like the ground, you know, like this area with some mountains, and we have some rivers. There are some clouds here up, and we have this lot of this blue water things here. Okay, so when we say that the water recycles itself, it means that it goes up and go back, go up and go back, and continues in this cycle. Yeah, I mean forever, right? So that's why we say it recycles itself. Okay, because it, you know, like it, they do the job by themselves. That is the point. So, and again, just to make sure that we got how it works, and we begin here down. Yeah, we have lakes. Okay, let's begin from the bottom, right? We have lakes full of water, and then on hot days, yeah, this water each will evaporate, right? How? Why? Because remember we learned about the temperature. If the weather, yeah, if the temperature is really high, so it's really hot, so the water, because it reaches in a specific state of degree, so it evaporates, it becomes gas, and then of course goes up. And what happens with this gas? It becomes a cloud, right? I mean, nothing new up to here, right? So when it becomes a cloud, and then it started like getting more and more and more gas, okay? So it will get full at some point, yeah? And then is when we see like the clouds that are really heavy, yeah? And normally they change the color for gray. So it's full of water, right? And then, of course, I mean, if you don't know, as the water goes up, the temperature that was really high below, as it goes up, it started getting cold, it started getting cooler, okay? Because as higher it goes, the temperature, yeah, it starts to getting down, right? I mean, it starts to get cold. So there, it's cold, the temperature is different, it became this cloud, yeah? And as it is cold, so the water, what's gonna happen with that? It will change again the state. So it's gonna fall, yeah, it's gonna go down. If it's too cold, as we have studied before, yeah, it will fall as snow and as hail, right? Okay. And if it's not so, how can I say, it's not so cold, it's just like, so in the middle, not too hot, not too cold, so it's gonna be a normal rain, I mean drops of water, right? And then it falls down and again follows the same cycle, falls down maybe on the mountains and in the cities, and it goes up to the rivers, and then in the rivers when it get hot, so it continues like that. So this is the cycle, right? That's why if we go down here, we have groundwater in our water cycle, getting to know Earth's most important freshwater source, right? Of course, because it's very, very important. So this is why we call it recycles itself, because it goes up and down automatically, okay? And it doesn't need our help for that, right? So this is the way, and this is how, and this is why we call it recycling, okay? So I hope I have helped you with this explanation. Okay, and of course, what I'm gonna ask you to do, answer all of the questions in the best way possible, okay? This picture that I have right here, I'm gonna leave it on QFI so you can download this picture and you can analyze it by yourself, okay? Actually, there is a huge article about, let me see, almost 200 pages, but I don't wanna send that to you, okay? I'm just gonna leave the picture, and then of course, later we can read that, okay? Because it's too much information for now. But only that, just answer the questions for me, and I'm gonna be waiting for that. So thanks again for one more time, yeah, for being here with me. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. So do the best, and of course, I see you next time. Have a good time, and bye bye, guys. Take care.